Yeah, I did. Enrolled in St. Louis University.
St. Louis University.
Yeah.
And you studied?
Philosophy, accounting, and English. And I always thought I was pretty good in English. I got a C in English, which wasn't satisfactory to me, an A in accounting, and a B in philosophy. And I couldn't figure out what had happened in English, but I think it was because I was arguing with the professor, and he was going to have none of that.
Was it while you were in college when you realized that you were interested in the performing arts?
No, I only had fleeting notions of anything like that. I always, I think I looked at something like performing and saying, "Oh, I could do that."
I see.
But to pinpoint it, I didn't think of it.
Now, when I read your bio, I read about a teacher who recognized your talent while you were at St. Louis University and recommended you for a scholarship at the Aspen Music Festival.
Yeah, well, that was when I went to Washington University.
Oh, Washington University. Okay. So you transferred from St. Louis to...
Yeah, after I got married in 1955,
Yes.
I all of a sudden got the urge to move on again.
I see.
And so I went to Washington University, and I encountered a teacher who had been who played buffo parts at the Metropolitan. Well, at that time, I had started to become interested in singing. Because I started out in business administration.
At Washington University?
No, at St.
At
Louis.
St. Louis,
And
yes.
then somehow I got interested in singing because I started to think, well, I always have trouble with people. What kind of profession could I get in that I wouldn't have trouble, because I'd be left alone a little bit. I kind of figured it was show business. I could do what I wanted. As a matter of fact, it would be essential that I not have to give up that hidden something in order to get by or prosper. And I figured it was show business. And I had begun to think that, well, I used to sing in school, so let me try that. And so that's why I came into the business.
I see. But this teacher, did you take a course in singing?
Well,
or
at Washington U, I was well into pursuing singing as a way out, a way up. And I started to, I went into Washington University with a major in, I think it was a vocal major.
I see.
I don't know, something like that, I've forgotten. And a minor in English or something like that. And so, but already I was becoming like, my grandmother's influence had started to wane on me because her energy, she couldn't keep up with me, you know. So when I went into, as her energy waned and her influence over me she became less able to wield it. That's when I was at St. Louis U and subsequently at Washington University. And the kind of discipline that she provided, it was not available to me. And since I'd come from a background where we hadn't known anyone, I didn't know my father. I had a fitful relationship with my mother. And there were no signposts. There was nothing that I could say, well, let me do that. What should I do here? And so it was kind of difficult. I don't know, I'm rambling now.
No, not at all.
But then when I went to Washington University and was, doing music every day and singing, pursuing the idea that I eventually might get to the Met.
You wanted to sing in the Metropolitan. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was going to be the first black tenor.
I see.
And so I began to pursue that
That was your goal that you held out there.
Sort of goal.
Yes.
And I
yes.
kept that goal until I arrived in New York, which was, I don't know, I think about 5-6 years later.
I see. When you arrived in New York, are you talking about when you appeared on Broadway for the first time? Or did you arrive in New York prior to that?
No, because when I went to Washington U, I got a scholarship to Aspen.
Yes.
The music festival. My teacher had given me that.
And that was solely for singing?
Yeah.
Yes.
And when I got there, I was performing some Handel and Purcell, and simultaneously visiting the Aspen Music Festival were a couple who had founded a community center in Cleveland called Caramoo.